John? Corporal and Holmes. Gentlemen, start your engines and wave the green flag.
Right now, we're going to go trackside to John Busch for the pre-race ceremonies. John?
Okay, thank you very much, Rick Mooney. We're going to come down here within the camera shot. The first award we're going to give away before we do the driver starting lineup will be for the Busch Pole Award. The man qualifying on the pole today, driver of the Tic Tac Oldsmobile from Georgia, Vermont. Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for Robbie Crouch. Now we're all set. We need Robbie to stay right there because Robbie will also receive the Gatorade Circle of Champions Award for winning the previous race at Monadnock. So we got to give him another big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. And now we need rookie Andy Santeri to come to the podium, please. Andy picks up the Penrose Rookie Award for being the rookie of the race at the previous race at Monadnock. So he picks up the $500 Rookie of the Race Award. And tonight's Rookie of the Race winner will be presented with $500 at the race at Watkins Glen on June 5. And now if we can have Alan Avery please step up. He is the Michigan 77 Engine Builder Award and the car owner of the Robbie Crouch car that won, or that qualified on the pole. Alan Avery picks up the Michigan 77 Engine Builder Award.
Me. Alan.
And now can we have all drivers please join me here at the edge of the track, please. All drivers, please join me here at the inside edge of the track, please. All drivers to the start-finish line, please. All drivers to the start-finish line, please. Now we're getting ready to, they're laying out the Busch beer cans for the top six. The top six cars that qualified today will redraw. And first to redraw, the man who qualified fastest, Robbie Crouch from Georgia, Vermont. Robbie, go up there and pick up a can. And Robbie picks up can number 1, so Robbie gets to stay on the pole. Next, we need Kelly Moore, please. Kelly Moore will be the second man to draw. Kelly Moore is from Scarborough, Maine, the Jordan Lumber Makita Chevrolet car. Kelly will pick up a Busch beer can with the number on the bottom to see where he starts, and Kelly Moore picks up number 6. So he goes from second to 6th spot. Third man to pick the Busch beer can will be number 51, the man they call Magic Shoes, Mike McLaughlin, last year's race winner. He's going to pick up the closest can, and it is number 5. Mike picks up spot number 5. Next from Northampton, Pennsylvania, the Clark Concrete Oldsmobile driver, Tony Hirschman. Hirschman, only 3 choices left. And he picks the outside pole, spot number 2. So only spots 3 and 4 are left. Tom Rosati is next from Agawam, Massachusetts, the American Towing Pontiac. He's going to go all the way to the top of the track to pick up what, number 3? So right now this is a little anticlimactic, but Stub Fadden will pick up his can, and it's number 4. Okay. Ready? All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to introduce the drivers that will be competing in the $45,000 Busch North 150 here at the Holland Speedway. If we can have all drivers please come to the start-finish line. The first 2 gentlemen who will be starting last and second last are provisional starters. Starting in the 26th position, driving car number 34 from Westbury, New York, the Christie's Markets Buick of Glenn Sullivan. Okay. If we can have all the drivers, please come to the start-finish line right around me. Please, all drivers, please come to the start-finish line right here. Starting in the 25th position, car number 71 from Milton, Vermont, the Andover Transportation Chevrolet Bobby Dragon. In the 24th position, from Latham, New York, WFE Challenge Oldsmobile, car number 69, Jeff Spraker. In the 23rd spot, in car number 6, the Auto Palace Valvoline Pontiac from Coventry, Rhode Island, Mike Stefanik. In the 22nd spot, car number 5 from Colchester, Vermont, the Motion Racing Pontiac of Barney McRae. Starting 21st, he's the Bulls Jeep Eagle Buick driver from Ellington, Connecticut, Tom Bulls, car number 76. Starting 20th, former modified driver, the Gendron GMC Chevrolet Southgate Plaza car from Boston Spa, New York. Let's welcome Brian Ross, car number 73. Starting 19th, driving car number 56, the Blount Seafood Oldsmobile from Mayetta, New Jersey, Martin Truex. Starting 18th, the Central Used Auto Parts Chevrolet from Northwoods, New Hampshire, car number 38, Babe Branscombe. Starting 17th, car number 22 from Norwich, Connecticut, the Berry Associates Chevrolet, Jeff Berry. Starting 16th, car number 17 from Peru, New York, the Brunel Asphalt Pontiac, Bob Brunel. Starting 15th from Dallas, Pennsylvania, the TGI Friday Chevrolet, car number 40, Kenny Wallace. Starting 14th, our only Canadian entrant here at the Speedway, car number 66, Somerville Lumber, Banks Chevrolet from Port Colborne, Ontario, Dean Ferry. Starting 13th, car number 61 from North Haverhill, New Hampshire, Fadden Auto, Swenson Insurance Pontiac, Mike Olson, car number 61. Starting number 12, car number 15 from Cherryfield, Maine, the O'Connor Buick GMC Buick, Andy Santeri. Car number 15, starting 11th, one of the hometown heroes in the Ed's Auto Parts, Skyline RV Pontiac from Cheektowaga, New York, car number 94, Steve Hayek. Now we're into the top 10, and car number 98 from Essex Junction, Vermont, the Lamell number McIntyre Fuels Buick, 98, Keith Lamell. And starting in 9th spot, the car number 0, Fisher Snowplows, R.H. Long Pontiac from Kennebunkport, Maine, Dick the Irish Angel McCabe. Starting in the 8th position, driver of the Skoll Bandit Pontiac, all the way from Fredericksburg, Virginia, car number 7, Curtis Markham. Starting 7th into Budweiser Chevrolet from North Ferrisburg, Vermont, car number 41, Jamie Obie. Starting in the 6th spot from Scarborough, Maine, the Jordan Lumber Makita Chevrolet, car number 47, Kelly Moore. Starting at the 5th spot, the Coors Extra Gold Oldsmobile from Waterloo, New York, number 51, Mike Magic Shoes McLaughlin. From North Haverhill, New Hampshire, the Patton's Gas Pontiac. He'll be starting 4th, car number 16, Stub Fadden. Starting 3rd in car number 2, the American Towing Pontiac from Agawam, Massachusetts, Tom Rosati. On the outside pole, the Clark Concrete Oldsmobile from Northampton, Pennsylvania, car number 1, Tony Hirschman. And starting on the pole in the Tic Tac Oldsmobile from Georgia, Vermont, car number 48, Robbie Crouch. And that is your starting field for tonight's Busch North 150 here at the Holland Speedway. And now we're going to take a minute as the drivers get themselves strapped in, tighten up the harnesses, make their radio connections, put their helmets on. We are going to have Mr. Gordon Hessel from Try It Distributors. Gordon, it's great to see Busch Beer and especially your company involved with such a great racing series.
Thank you, John. It's great to be here again tonight. Great crowd, great field. I'm sure we're going to have a great race.
It is going to be a great race. You got any pre-race favorites? Any Oldsmobile drivers out there that you like, especially since we have an Oldsmobile on the pole?
I think to my right I'd be a little prejudiced, but I don't know as I dare say that. Thanks, John.
Oh, you mean that Bud car over there, possibly? Okay. We're going to go back up to the tower right now for the announcers until the drivers are strapped in, and then we'll give those famous words. Take it away, gentlemen.
Well, thank you very much, John Bishi. Well, the drama heightens, ladies and gentlemen, the Busch 150. The cars online, the drivers being strapped in, the crew chiefs having a final word with the competitors. And tonight, accepting the challenge, 26 drivers at the ready, $45,000 up for grabs here this evening in the Busch 150 right here at the Holland International Speedway. As you can see, the Skoll Pontiac, the Curtis Markham machine, going over the windshield on that car. The drivers have been all strapped in their cars now. The crews talking to the drivers, checking out looking at the race cars, cleaning off the windshields on the cars. And everything is just about ready to drop the green flag and get this one underway. So final preparations continue on some of the race cars. John Bishi down trackside, and momentarily we'll be putting it down trackside to Gordon Hessel and John Bishi at the start-finish line. So track officials walking up between the double rows, the double file of race cars, checking that all the drivers are properly strapped in. We can see the crews now moving back into the pit area. Brand new lights up there, certainly to help the crews when they service their race car in this 150 lap, the Busch 150 here at the Holland Speedway.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready. And now, Mr. Gordon Hessel from Try It Distributors, you are going to say those famous words in racing. Go for it.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
The cars and stars of the Busch North Series about to get underway. 150 laps of racing action in the Busch 150 this evening. The engines have been started. The final preparations are completed. The drivers are strapped in their cockpits. Folks, we are ready to go racing tonight. 150 laps of Busch North racing.
Well, Rick Mooney, at the end of 150 laps tonight, the winner will come away with about $8,000, give or take a few $100, $45,000, the total purse here tonight. So, you know, a lot of big dollars on the line for these 26 Busch Grand National North cars. They're now beginning to move away in formation in pursuit of the $45,000, around $8,000 going to the winner. And when we drop the checker at the end of 150 circuits here at the Holland International Speedway. Good-looking field of race cars, Rick. Certainly a stellar turnout. 31 total cars, and 26 will take the green flag in the Busch 150. The number 34 car needing a push out there, so the push truck gets behind the 34 and sends him underway. And that is the Glenn Sullivan car, and he's out of Westbury, New York, in the Christie's Market Buick. So the Auto Palace pace car now pulls into the infield, and the Ron Corbo-Oles leads the flock of six-cylinder cars, 26 strong, ready to take the green flag.
Listen to the whine of those V6s winding up, waiting to be unleashed for 150 laps of racing action. Cars from all over the northeastern United States, and in one case, eastern Canada, joining us here this evening for some of the best racing you're going to see in western New York throughout the entire 1993 racing season.
Absolutely, Rick Mooney. This is the most outstanding late model field probably that we've ever witnessed here at the Holland Speedway, and I know one of the top late model fields of all time here in this part of North America, actually. Just a beautiful field of cars. They move down the back straightaway, all in preparation for the drop of the green flag.
So the car is taking a few laps to bring the racing tire temperatures up to speed, and we'll be going green in a few laps at the start of the Busch 150 this evening. Robbie Crouch in the 48 setting fast time this evening and drawing the lucky number 1 for the pole position for this 150 lap event. Tony Hirschman, who had time number 4, drawing the outside pole. Tom Rosati with the 5th fastest time on the inside of row 2. Stub Fadden with the 6th fastest time on the outside of row 2. Row number 3, Mike McLaughlin, who had 3rd fast time. And on his outside, it will be Kelly Moore, who had 2nd fast time.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the Busch 150 almost ready to take the green flag. And how about it, ladies and gentlemen? How about everybody up? Come on, stand up down there, all the way down in turn number 1, down in turn number 4, along the front straightaway. Everybody up this time around. Pick up your hat, your program, your jacket, whatever you got, and give these drivers a Holland Speedway send-off. Here they come. Come on, wave those hats. Come on, everybody. Get up, wave them off. They'll wave back at you. Pick out your favorite. Wish them good luck and Godspeed as they are ready to have at it. 150 laps in the Busch 150 here for the Busch Grand National North cars.
All right, Kenny Hangar Jr., John Bishop Jr., and the rest of the fans here at Holland Speedway tonight. We're about to get this one underway. 150 laps of Busch North racing action. Gordon Hessler, Grand Marshal of the evening, will give the opening green flag from atop the starter stand. The Ron Corbo Holland Speedway pace car moves off the track. Robbie Crouch and Tony Hirschman lead him down. The green flag is out, and we are racing. On the break into turn number 1, it's Robbie Crouch jumping into the early lead in car 48. Hirschman running second, Tom Rosati up to run third, and car number 2, Stub Fadden, is fourth in the 16. The field of Busch North cars circle out of turn number 4 to complete lap 1. Robbie Crouch shows the way in the tic-tac number 48. Crouch leads him down the back chute. Hirschman running second has opened up about a 5-car length advantage over third place Tom Rosati in car number 2. Mike Magic Shoes McLaughlin currently running 4th in the 51. Stub Fadden drops back to 5th in the 16. Jamie Obies moves up to grab spot number 6 in car 41. Your leader starting to stretch out down the back chute as Crouch has opened up about a 3 to 4 car length advantage over the second place number 1 of Tony Hirschman. The rest of the field in fine shape in the early going of the Busch 150. Trouble down the back chute. Cars coming together. Kelly Moore in the 47 making contact with Dick McCabe. McCabe comes back up in turn 3. Cars spinning every which way to avoid contact. Tommy Bowles sliding into the infield, and cars spinning off of turn number 4. We have Mike Olson in the 61. It looks like Keith Lamell in the 98 out of shape in turn number 4. Our first caution flag of the day is out.
Okay, Sparks now being shown from the left rear of the car number 0. That's the Fisher snowplow car of out of Kennebunkport, Maine, the Irish Angel, Dick McCabe. So McCabe must have cut down a left rear, but McCabe, I'll tell you, Rick, a driver without the skills of Dick McCabe would have come right back into traffic. But he did everything humanly possible to save his race car and probably prevent a much more destructive incident down there as the car went right through the grass area. And once the race car leaves the pavement here and comes through any grass area, that race car certainly picks up speed. But Dick McCabe doing everything he could to bring the car down and haul it, even though he did slide back up onto the racing surface. So certainly preventing a much more horrific accident than we had down there in turn number 2. With 5 laps down, Rick, and the first caution period of the Busch 150.
And the Fisher Snowplows crew going to work in the infield pit area on the Dick McCabe number 0, changing the left rear tire in that car and looking to see if there's any more additional damage from that little tangle down the back chute into turn number 3. We see that the Keith Lamell number 98 being pushed through the back gate area into the main pit area, so Keith Lamell is either done for the night or he's going to necessitate a lot more work in that car than can be done in the infield pit area. Jeff Spraker also ducking into the infield pit area in car number 69.
Go ahead, John. You want to go live with it?
We're going to send it right down to John Bish, who's at the Dick McCabe pit area. John?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we were standing over at Dick McCabe's pit area as they were doing some furious pit work on that car number 0 to get him out of the pits. Try not to go any more laps down than he already is. There's some sheet metal damage on the right side of the car, and he had some problems changing the right front, but as you can see now, he's back out on the track, but he is running dead last. Back up to the tower.
Thank you, John. Alias Dr. Johnny Punch here tonight at Holland Speedway. As the field assembled under caution conditions behind the Ron Corbo Olds Holland Speedway pace car. Robbie Crouch, your race leader. He's led from the opening green in the Tic-Tac Olds number 48. Tony Hirschman working in second in the Clark Concrete Oldsmobile number 1. Tom Rosati currently third in car number 2. Mike McLaughlin fourth in car 51. Stub Fadden currently fifth in car number 16. And we see Dick McCabe in the 0 is accelerating. He's going to be ducking into the pit area for another visit. making sure he doesn't pass the pace car under caution. Ken Wallace also following through into the pit area in the TGI Fridays, number 40.
Well, Rick, Dick McCabe, the 1992 Busch Grand National North champion, he's back on pit road once again. So they're checking under the rear of the automobile. We thought perhaps he may have another tire cut down on the Fisher Snowplow Zero. As you said, the Ken Wallace, the TGI Fridays, number 40, also on pit road. And now they're telling the field to reassemble double file. Robbie Crouch on the point, and Tony Hirschman and the Clark Concrete number 1 will move up to the front row, anticipating the dropping of the green flag and another lap or so. We can see the 66, Dean Ferry out of Port Colborne, Ontario. The left side of his car has received some damage. And once again, the Zero, well, McCabe sparking as he headed out of pit road. The car maybe has been bothering out. No, it's sparking again as he moves out on the racetrack. So McCabe may have to go back on pit road one more time. It's still showering smoke from the rear end of the Dick McCabe's Fisher Snowplow Zero.
And Dick McCabe is accelerating again. He is going to make one more quick pit visit and hopefully get back out before the restart green, which will be in one more lap. So McCabe now alongside of the pace car, and he'll be ducking into the pit area again as we notice a lot of sparking coming from the left rear corner of the Fisher Snowplow number 0. Now apparently McCabe realizes that we're going green the next time around and doesn't want to lose any more position on the track than he's already lost, so he's going to fall back to the rear of the field for this restart. The pace car accelerating off the track. It will be Crouch and Hirschman leading him down for the restart green as we complete lap number 11 this time by. Here they come. The green is out and we are racing once again. And it's Robbie Crouch resuming command out in front. And here comes Tom Rosati making a challenge to the Tony Hirschman number 1 for second place. On the high side, Mike McLaughlin looking for a little running room in the Coors Extra Gold number 51. Your leaders enter turn number 1. And out of turn 2, it continues to be Robbie Crouch leading the way, and Tony Hirschman has firmly established himself back in the number 2 position. Rosati up in 3rd in the 2, McLaughlin 4th in the 51, Jamie Opie in the 41, and Stub Fad in the 16, racing side by side for positions 5 and 6. Little contact through turns 3 and 4. Curtis Markham in the 7 and Kelly Moore in the 47 coming together that time around, but both continue at speed. In the meantime, McLaughlin in the 51 has made the pass on Rosati in the 2. McLaughlin now running in the number 3 spot in car 51. And Stub Fadden beginning to put the pressure on Tom Rosati for the number 4 position. Fadden in car number 16. Rosati getting out of shape coming out of turn 2. Almost took Opie into the wall behind him, but they maintain racing speeds, continue on. Robbie Crouch and Tony Hirschman trying to pull away from the rest of the field. The two of them have opened up about a 10-car length lead advantage over the 3rd place number 51 of Mike McLaughlin. Stub Fadden, the 16, working in 4th, then 4 cars in close competition for spots 5, 6, 7, and 8. Kelly Moore in the 47, Tom Rosati in the 2, Curtis Markham in the 7, Jamie Opie in the 41. Your leaders, Robbie Crouch in the 48 and Tony Hirschman in the 1, circling at a rapid clip as they click off lap number 19 this time by. The race for 3rd starting to heat up as Stub Fadden checked out an inside line through turns 1 and 2 that time. Mike McLaughlin holding on to the place position right now, or the show position, excuse me. Stub Fadden working in 4th place. Kelly Moore is now crept up on that duo to make it a potential 3-car battle for the number 3 spot. It continues to be Robbie Crouch showing the way in car number 48. Tony Hirschman about 2 car lengths back in 2nd place. Then a bit of a gap back to third place. Mike McLaughlin in the 51. Stub Fadden in the 16. Kelly Moore in the 47. They're followed by Curtis Markham, currently in 6th place in car number 7. Jamie Olby in 7th place in car 41. 8th is Andy Santeri in car number 15. 9th, Tom Rosati in the 2. Currently 10th is Stevie Hoddick in the 94. Dick McCabe has pulled the Fisher Snowplow 0 back into the pit area. It's been a rough early going for the Irish Angel out of Kennebunkport, Maine. Up in front, Crouch has opened up his lead to that of about 3 car lengths over Hirschman, but Hirschman is getting a lot of company behind him now, as Mike McLaughlin in the 51 has led that band of cars racing for the number 3 spot to the rear truck lid of the Tony Hirschman number 1. Robbie Crouch continues to set the pace in car number 48, but Hirschman has some fast company behind him in the race for 2nd place. McLaughlin in the 51, Fadden in the 16, Moore in the 47, Markham in the 7, and Olby in the 41. Those top 7 cars have established their dominance over the rest of the field in the early going of this Busch 150. If we continue under green flag conditions as we have since the lap 12 restart, we're going to have our leaders running into some lap traffic fairly soon. And at the rear of the field, Ken Wallace in the TGI Fridays number 40 having a little trouble negotiating turns 3 and 4. He keeps it straight, and he'll be the first lap car that the leaders come upon very soon. Robbie Crouch in the Tic Tac Olds number 48 about to set up Ken Wallace to put Wallace a lap down in car number 40. Crouch leading that lead pack to the high groove to get around the Wallace number 40. Tony Hirschman in the 1 following suit. Mike McLaughlin does likewise in car number 51. It continues to be Robbie Crouch out in front. About 3 car lengths back in 2nd is Tony Hirschman. Right behind Hirschman is the 51 of Mike McLaughlin. Back about 5 car lengths in 4th place is the 16 of Stub Fadden. Working in 5th right now is the number 47 of Kelly Moore. 6th is the 7 of Curtis Markham. 7th place, Jamie Olby in the 41. 8th is the 15 of Andy Santeri. 9th is the 94 of Steve Hoddick. 10th is the 66 of Dean Ferry. 11th, the 61 of Mike Olson. 12th, the 2 of Tom Rosati. Rosati, who had an up front starting position, has had trouble from the word go. He's been fading back through the field from the opening green. 13th, we find the 22 of Jeff Berry. 14th, the 56 of Martin Truex. And currently rounding up the top 15, it's the 73 of Brian Ross. Robbie Crouch has had little trouble from the opening green. He's led this one from the start in car number 48. And back in the pits for the umpteenth time this evening in only 35 laps, Dick McCabe in the Fisher Snowplows number 0. Trouble up in turn number 2. Mike Stefanik in the Valvoline Auto Palace number 6 is parked up against the guardrail on the high side of turn 2. And Stefanik pulls his car down off the rail. And we have our second caution of the evening in this Busch 150 event. Stefanik having his troubles in turn number 2 in that Mark Martin lookalike car. As Mike Stefanik had a good run last week at Nazareth, Pennsylvania at the combination Busch North-South race. He qualified in the top 10 and ran a steady race throughout, having some problems in the pit at one point to finish, I believe, in about the 15th spot, if memory serves me correctly. But Stefanik is accelerating. He'll be pulling into the pit area in car number 6.
Almost to the down trackside now to John Vichy. John, take it away, please.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're down here on pit road waiting for the Mike Stefanik car to come in. His crew is ready. The Valvoline Auto Palace crew is ready. They've got a tire. They're just waiting for Mike to come by. Looks like he took a little brush with the wall. You can see sheet metal damage on both sides of the car. He's following the pace car. Smoke coming from the back of the car. These boys are ready. They're going to change tires as soon as he is able to pull into the pits. Now the car number 40, the TGI Fridays entry of Kenny Wallace, also with some damage. That was his second pit stop that we saw. And now McLaughlin's car pulling into the pits. Also, Rosati's car pulls into the pits. McLaughlin extremely flat right front tire. They're pulling the sheet metal away while the crewman takes the lug nuts off. The flat tire is off the car. Sheet metal bent, broken, ripped up on the car. They're working furiously on that car to get him back out. Lug nuts are tight. They drop the jack, and Stefanik is away, back up to the tower.
All right, thank you, John Bishi, for that on-the-spot report on the Mike Stefanik pit stop in car number 6. The Modified Star also doing a fair amount of Busch Gray National driving in 1993, moves back out to the rear of the field after his quick pit stop. And we also noted that Tom Rosati pulled into the main pit area off the back chute during this break in the action. So as Jeff Spraker in the 69 and Tom Rosati in the 2 emerge out of the main pit area, let's align the field for you as we are clicking off lap 41 under caution in the Busch 150. At the point in the Tic Tac Olds number 48, it's Robbie Crouch who's led from the opening green. In second place right now in the Clark Concrete Olds number 1, Tony Hirschman. Third place in the Coors Extra Gold number 51, Mike Magic Shoes McLaughlin. Currently fourth place in the Patent Gas number 16, Stub Fadden. Riding in fifth at this juncture in the Jordan Lumber Makita Chevrolet number 47, Kelly Moore. Currently in the number 6 position at this point. In the Skull Bandit number 7, out of Virginia, Curtis Markham. Running 7th at the moment in the Budweiser Chevrolet number 41, Jamie Obie. 8th place in the O'Connor Buick GMC Buick number 15, Andy Santera out of Cherryfield, Maine. Currently running in the number 9 position and the Ed's Auto Parts Skyline RV number 94, Steve Hoddick out of Cheektowaga. And rounding up the top 10 at this point, in car number 66, the Somerville Lumber Bank Chevrolet ride of Dean Ferry out of Port Colborne, Ontario. We're going to go racing in one more lap as they click off lap 42 under caution. We'll get a restart green as they complete lap number 43. Ron Corba Olds Holland Speedway pace car will pull off the track. Robbie Crouch and Tony Hirschman will again lead the field of Grand National cars out of turn number 4 as we look for a restart green this time around. Here they come out of turn 4. They get the green and we are racing once again. And on the restart, Mike McLaughlin looking to make a move to the inside of Tony Hirschman as they race out of turn number 2 down the back chute. Robbie Crouch leads them down into turn number 3. Hirschman and McLaughlin side by side for spots 2 and 3. Right behind, we have trouble in turns 3 and 4. Bob Brunel going for a spin. Martin Truex ducks into the infield grass. And Mike Stefanik hard on the binders to avoid contact. Everyone rights their cars, but the caution flag is out again. Caution again showing on the speedway.
Well, the Ron Cornball's pace car now pulls out to the head of the field and picks up the car number 48. That's the Tic Tac ride. And the driver, Robbie Crouch, formerly he was out of Tampa, Florida. And now for the last several years while on the Busch Grand National North Tour. Okay, we'll throw it down pit side to John Busch. Take it away, John.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're down here in the pits while we've got a caution flag stop again. We just talked to Dick McCabe's crew chief. For those of you wondering, fans of McCabe especially, why the car sparks when it goes into the turns, he said when he came together with Joey that it broke the upper control arm and it also bent up the panhard bar. That's why the car won't handle on top of the sheet metal damage that you can see when he goes past the grandstands. He's got some suspension damage, and that's effectively just taking him out of the race, even though he is able to circle the track. McCabe is out of it as far as any kind of winning goes with the suspension damage. Back up to Rick and Kenny in the tower.
Okay, thank you very much down there in the pit area, John Busch.
So the car is assembling in single file formation under caution as they click off lap 47 this time by. Robbie Crouch still shown as your leader, but he has a new immediate chaser in the form of Mike McLaughlin in car number 51, who just put the pass on Tony Hirschman for second place just before that caution flag came out. Hirschman now drops back to third in car number 1. Kelly Moore running at fourth at this point in car number 47. Jamie Obie up in fifth in the 41. Stub Fadden working in sixth in the 16, followed by Curtis Markham in the 7, Andy Santera in the 15, Dean Ferry in the 66, Steve Hoddick in the 94, Mike Olson in the 61, Jeff Berry in the 22, Brian Ross in the 73, Tommy Bowles in the 76, and the balance of the field. They're straightening out the alignment of cars on the speedway down the back chute. As we click off lap number 48 this time by. And, of course, the leader is number 48, Robbie Crouch.
Rick, a couple drivers running up in the second and third spot. They're some modified pilots. Tony Hirschman, as a matter of fact, I believe the last time the Winston NASCAR Modified Tour visited Holland Speedway, he picked up the victory. That was a couple years back. And also Mike Stefanik. He's a former NASCAR Modified champion. So they're chasing a guy that's been... So they're chasing, of course, Robbie Crouch in the car number 48, and he's been basically a late model driver most of his careers.
Well, it looks like we're going racing the next time by as starter Doug Carnes holds up the furled up green flag in the number 1 position, meaning we're going to get a green flag the next time around. Martin Truex quickly pulling out of the pit area in car number 56, so we'll get a restart green as they click off lap number 50. Now it will be Robbie Crouch in the 48. Alongside it will be Mike Magic Shoes McLaughlin in car number 51 on this restart. As we're 1/3 of the way through the Busch 150 as they cross the start-finish line this time by. The pace car off the track, Crouch and McLaughlin lead about of turn number 4. The green flag is out, and we are racing once again. McLaughlin holding steady on the outside. Robbie Crouch not giving an inch on the inside. Let's see who win this battle through turns 3 and 4. And it's going to be McLaughlin moving into the lead in car 51 on the restart. Mike McLaughlin in car 51 is taking the lead on lap 51. McLaughlin out in front, Crouch in second, Kelly Moore now putting the pressure on Robbie Crouch. Kelly Moore taking the Jordan Lumber Chevy to the outside of the tic-tac-olds of Robbie Crouch. Both cars attempting to make a move on the number 51 of McLaughlin. We saw some smoke coming from the rear of the Robbie Crouch number 48 that time around. We'll keep our eyes peeled on the Robbie Crouch tic-tac-olds number 48. McLaughlin continues to lead in car number 51. Crouch trying to reappropriate command in car number 48. He pulls alongside of McLaughlin, attempting to maintain inside position. McLaughlin working the middle groove. Right behind, it's the number 47 of Kelly Moore, looking for any kind of running room he can find. McLaughlin drifting a little high through turns 3 and 4. Crouch tucks the 48 down underneath. They're side by side as they cross the start-finish line that time, but McLaughlin's still out in front by a hair. Here comes Crouch, charging on the low side in car number 48. McLaughlin trying to pull out in front by a full car length again as they tuck into turn number 3. It's Crouch again maintaining the inside groove. McLaughlin working the outside. Circling out of turn number 4. They're wheel to wheel, side by side. Mike McLaughlin into 51. Robbie Crouch into 48. Through turns 3 and 4. Out of turn number 4, it's Robbie Crouch edging back into the lead by a bumper length over Mike McLaughlin's number 51. Down the back chute, Crouch trying to extend his lead. He's got half a hood length out in front of Mike McLaughlin right now. Crouch working the shorter inside lane. The Tic-Tac Gold seems to be working fine on the inside groove. McLaughlin's preferred groove tends to be the middle to the outside, but Crouch making his car tick downstairs. And the Tic-Tac number 48 slowly but surely edging back out in front of Mike McLaughlin's number 51. Big click-off lap number 59 this time by. And it's still Robbie Crouch holding on to a slight lead advantage over Mike McLaughlin. Kelly Moore working in 3rd place. Then we have a gap back to 4th place. Tony Hirschman in 5th place. Stub Fadden out of turn number 4 as they complete lap number 60. It's Robbie Crouch, Mike McLaughlin, and Kelly Moore, your top 3. And right now we're going to turn the play-by-play chores of this race over to my colleague, Kenny Hangauer Jr. Kenny?
Well, Robbie Crouch, car number 48, has regained the lead. McLaughlin falls back to 2nd. Going 3rd is Kelly Moore in the car number 47. The leader now starts to sort his car out and pull away. He lost the lead momentarily there for several laps to the Mike McLaughlin. Magic Shoes had taken over, but now Robbie Crouch, he surges out into the lead as they come down in turn number 1 and 2. They head down the 2nd corner, down the back straightaway. It's Crouch. He is the leader. Going in 2nd is McLaughlin. 3rd is Kelly Moore, Tony Hirschman, and Stub Fadden battling it out for the 4th and 5th spot. Jamie Obey, he rides next. Curtis Markham in the 7. And once again now, the car number 48, Robbie Crouch, he starts to turn up the wick, realizing that we're coming down to the halfway point. We'll pick off lap number 64. 64 down in this one. Still a long way to go, but Robbie Crouch, once he has assumed the lead, he has just rocketed away. Mike Magic Shoes McLaughlin, the Clear Extra Gold 51, holds on to second. Here comes Kelly Moore in 3rd. In 4th spot is Tony Hirschman in the Clark Concrete, car number 1. And the 16, the Patton Gas 16. And that is the Stanley Stub Fadden ride. Hitting the stripe one more time in lap number 66. 66 complete. And now the leader, he'll start to work himself around the number 40. The Kenny Wallace car, the TGI Fridays machine, as he's had his problems all night long. So 67 complete, 67 laps down. And Crouch continues to increase his lead, almost a full straightaway over Mike McLaughlin. Look at Moore now. Kelly Moore comes up. He gives McLaughlin 5th. They almost bump up there as they come off turn number 4. McLaughlin now riding up in the middle groove, dropping down low in the Jordan Lumber. Car number 47 is Kelly Moore. They race side by side off the 2nd corner, head down the back straightaway. While they are side by side, it gives the advantage to Robbie Crouch. Okay, now Kelly Moore has taken over 2nd spot, knocking McLaughlin back to 3rd. And look at the battle now for 4th and 5th. Stanley Stub Fadden in the Patton's Gas, car number 16, has pulled up, and he goes door handle with the 1 of Tony Hirschman out of Northampton, Pennsylvania. Moore now, he sets sail. He has taken command of 2nd spot. He begins to draw away from the balance of the field. He sets his sights on the leader, and that leader is Robbie Crouch in the Tic-Tac Oldsmobile. Well, the car is 3 wide along the front straightaway. Look at Jamie Obey. We thought we might have trouble down there, but everybody sorts it out and continues on. 71-72 will be put up on the Winston Racing Series NASCAR scoreboard. And trouble down in the corner. It's the 61, the Mike Olson car. And he got off the racing surface. He's down in the infield. But he is moving back out onto the racetrack. Bob Brunel on car number 17. The Bob Brunel car out of Peru, New York. He is heavily smoking out there, the Bob Brunel. Also a car slowing on the back straightaway. Mike Stefanik also parking his car. So we have a car smoking heavily down the back straightaway. And that's the Dean Ferry car, the number 66 of Dean Ferry. And also Barney McRae is a problem in turn number 2. here comes the leader after that mix-up down there. Several cars having problems. But meanwhile, he's at the head of the field. Look at Kelly Moore. He has closed up significantly on the leader, the car number 48 of Robbie Crouch. Stefanik one more time. It's high in 3 and 4. And the caution flag will come out for Mike Stefanik. Stefanik, he's had problems nearly all race long in the Autopass Valvoline, car number 6. Stefanik, he's out of Coventry, Rhode Island. And the caution flag, he had a problem down in 2, got above the yellow line, brought out a caution flag at that time, and now down in turn 4. So we have completed, we're past the halfway point now, 77 complete. As the field is under caution, I believe this is caution period number 4. So we've had 4 caution periods in the first 77 circuits.
Boy, there was all sorts of extracurricular action all over the place in a span of about a lap and a half. As Stefanik having his troubles in one turn, Barney McRae having his troubles in another turn, Dean Sperry spinning down the back chute, and a lot of smoke coming from the Bob Brunel number 17.
Well, Rick, the safety crew now dropping down the kitty lead, the speedy try. In fact, I believe they've covered the whole 3/8 mile circuit of this racetrack. As one of the cars apparently dropping a quantity of water and oil on the track. It might have been the Bob Brunel, car number 17. The grist mill car, and he's out of Peru, New York, which is up in the northeastern part of New York State. In fact, Bob Brunel has been black flagged, they tell us, for smoking. And he may be the car that was dropping down that oil and water on the race surface. So Bob Brunel, he started his career at the Airborne Park Speedway in Plattsburgh, New York. Okay, we'll send it down pit side to John Busch. John, take it away, please.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're down here in the pits, and it's indeed a busy place. We just talked to Mike McLaughlin's crew chief. For all the Mike McLaughlin fans, they are saying the car is getting loose on him. When he almost spun himself out of 3rd spot, he dropped back to about 6th place. They don't seem to have any serious mechanical problems, but they said the car is getting loose. If you see him pulling up to the pace car now, we will probably see him come into the pits very shortly. Stefanik out of the pits, the car number 17 out of the pits as well after having smoking. We'll keep an eye on Stefanik's, on McLaughlin's car. He pulls into the pits and pulls back out. And they have the gate open. Mike McLaughlin going right to the pit area with the car. Mike Stefanik, meanwhile, right in front of us. They are jacking up the car. They are changing the right rear of the car. But if you want to see a car that started out the race looking really gorgeous, it was Stefanik's car, and now it is beat up from front to back. They had to change the right front on a previous pit stop. Now they're changing the right rear on the car. And he's away. Mike Stefanik back out in the race. And back up to Rick and Kenny in the tower.
Well, thank you very much, John Busch. We're looking at some of the race cars, and you can see the tire marks on some of these cars. In fact, I think about almost all the leaders have got a tire mark on the right side of their cars. They really run close, and they really run tough, and they've been laying a little bit of a McCreary tire against the body panels on some of the race cars. So Mike Magic Shoes McLaughlin back out in the car number 51. And that is the Coors Extra Gold Oldsmobile with Magic Shoes McLaughlin. Remember Magic Shoes when he started out in the modified ranks on dirt, Rick, with the old Crazy 8 car out of Waterloo?
Yeah, I remember a great picture of him back about 1978 or 79 when he caught a wheel and the car was launched up in the air, and one of the photographers managed to get a shot of him as his car was about 45 degrees to the ground, pointed straight up in the air.
Yeah, that was a night, I believe, Rick, that Hancock Field over in Syracuse had him on a flight pattern over there. He had to file a flight plan that particular night. I believe that was down at the, I think that particular time was down at the Weedsport Speedway in Weedsport, New York. Well, lap 81 now being completed, or 82, I should say. We put 82 up on our NASCAR Winston Racing Series scoreboard. And once again, the car number 6 of Mike Stefanik, the Coventry, Rhode Island driver. And he picks up at the back of the field, and that car has been abused somewhat tonight. The Autopilot's Valvoline, car number 6 of Mike Stefanik, a former NASCAR modified champion. The Pontiac of Mike Stefanik. Okay, now up front once again is the 48 of Robbie Crouch. He is being shown as the leader as the field reassembles double file. On the outside will be Kelly Moore. And the 16 of Stub Fadden. Jamie Obey in the 41, Barney McRae in the 5, the 1 of Tony Hirschman. The 66, and that is the Dean Ferry car. And we're going to drop the green flag in one more lap, they tell us. So starter Doug Carnes clinching the green flag. The Ron Corbo Olds pace car draws away from the field, and look at Robbie Crouch. So let's see who will get the jump on the star. Will it be Moore on the outside? Will it be Crouch underneath? As they're running now in about third gear, they'll pop it into 4 and be ready to go. So here comes the field. They come up through the gearbox. They drop the green. We're back underway. And the Dean Ferry car scared off the racetrack. He comes back out, and he's on a Port Colborne in the 66, but he falls back in the field. Okay, now the leader remains Robbie Crouch. Look at Kelly Moore. He works tough on the outside of the race course as they come down. Door handle down the front straightaway. Jamie Obey also moving up in car number 41. They shuffle the deck off turn number 2, head down the back straightaway. And Kelly Moore has taken over the point. The Jordan Lumber colors now are pushed up to the head of the field. Here he comes, Kelly Moore. He is the leader. Robbie Crouch in second. Jamie Obey and Stub Fadden. They are side by side off turn number 2. So real action. The hot spot up at the head of the field. Stub Fadden drops down low. Obey rides up on the high side. They'll hit the stripe one more time. And we'll put 87 up, 87 laps down. So we have a total of 63 laps left to be run. The field now at single file as they work themselves through that very tough turn number 3 and 4. They come off the 4th corner. It's Moore. He is the leader. Crouch goes second. Jamie Obey has appropriated the 3rd position in car number 41. Ben Stanley, Stub Fadden in the 16. He's in 4th. And going in the 5th position will be the car number 1 of Tony Hirschman. Almost a complete field. Look at Curtis Markham. He is in a hurry now. He tries to move to the outside of the racetrack in the Skull Bandit Pontiac out of Fredericksburg, Virginia. But they're going to freight train him to the inside. Meanwhile, head of the field, it remains Kelly Moore. And Robbie Crouch is right there, right on the back door of Kelly Moore. Look at Robbie Crouch now. He goes to the inside, and they will race themselves side by side down to turn number 3. Oh, Moore, he tries to slam the door, and he could take it off the hinges right there. But Crouch backs it on out, and he holds second spot. He's going to wait out in the wings for a while. He's going to wait this one out because he still has a long way to go. We have 91 complete, 91 down, and 59 laps left. And now the top 4 cars, they line themselves up in a 4-car draft down the front straightaway. They are trying to pull away now from the Tony Hirschman car. The Clark Concrete machine is now in 5th. And look at Jamie Obey. He is on a roll up through the field in car number 41. The Budweiser number 41. He drops to the inside of Fadden. And they go one more time, side by side. And the top 4 cars really, the front straightaway. Steve Haddock in the 91. Bobby Dragon in the 71. And Steve Haddock. Front straightaway. Some of the leaders tangled up. Hirschman involved in that scramble down there. And we go into caution one more time. So the Bobby Dragon car, the Milton, Vermont, he has pulled the car number 71 up to the extreme outside of the racetrack. And that's the end of a Transportation Chevrolet has come to a halt along the front straightaway. Well, Tommy Bowles in the Pennzoil car number 76, so we can see his car is dragging his tail out there. Some part or piece of his race car has been dislodged. He's kind of just dragging it along behind his car. The car number 66 of Dean Ferry, he wants to take that car up to the Gasport Speedway tomorrow and put it on display, but I'll tell you, the body man and some of the paint folks, I think, are going to have to labor over that car and burn some midnight oil tonight to have that car in show car form for tomorrow. Well, the Roncourt Bowls one more time. Well, checking with the scoring loop, and they tell us that we have the 5th caution period of the event. So 5 caution periods, and we have a total of 55 circuits left to be run. There's a Tommy Bowles car. And NASCAR scoring now has informed the car number 48 is the leader. That's the Robbie Crouch car. And look at Kelly Moore. He resumes the chase, and car number 47 drops down, kicks up some dust in the first corner. They head down the back straightaway. It remains Robbie Crouch. He is the leader. Stub Fadden goes second. Kelly Moore in third. Then it's Brian Ross out of Ballston Spa, New York, and Curtis Markham has moved up now. Markham is on the attack in the Skoal Bandit Pontiac. Well, now Robbie Crouch trying to draw away from Fadden as they exit turn number 4, head down the front straightaway. It is Crouch, it is Fadden, it is Kelly Moore. So Moore, a former victor here at the Holland International Speedway. Next in line, it is Brian Ross. So a modified driver now in the 4th position. That's Brian Ross. And the Virginia driver in the Skoal Bandit Pontiac, Curtis Bubba Markham, has taken over the 5th position on the field. Top 10 cars, they line themselves up single file, so the freight train continues. We'll click off 105 with 45 to go. And Robbie Crouch continues to run very strong. He's looked all night long to be the class of the field here. And once again, he's up front, and he can be very tough in the remainder of these laps as we start to wind him down now with 44 left, 106 down. Okay, the leader now, and Fadden pulled up and challenged him off the second corner. But the car number 48 of Crouch really starts to respond. It really's got some motor as it comes off the corner. You can see him. He opens up about 2 car length advantage over Fadden. Fadden can close up significantly in the turns, but when they come off the turns, it looks like the 48, he can really draw away by about a car or a car length and a half. In third is Kelly Moore. Brian Ross, he goes 4, and the Skoal Bandit Pontiac of Curtis Markham, he rounds out the top 5. Now it looks like the number 22 is on the move. That's Jeff Berry, the Norwich, Connecticut driver. He shapes it up in a 6-car freight train. Tony Hirschman, he goes 7 in the Clark Concrete number 1. Call 110. We'll only have 40 to go this trip by. 110 down. Look at Kelly Moore now. He works to the inside of Stub Fadden. Oh, cars tangle. Stub Fadden. And look at this. Brian Ross, he sneaks by. We stay under the green flag. They got involved down there. They tangled but continue on. And Crouch, the advantage goes to him. And now Brian Ross out of Ballston Spa, New York, and car number 73. And here comes Kelly Moore. He's driving like a man on a mission right now, as he wants to work himself back up into one of the top 3 positions, as he has lost valuable ground up there. Also, the Tony Hirschman car, he has pulled up into contention. But right now, this race really starting to unfold for Robbie Crouch. His race car, the track seems to be coming to the car number 48, as everybody else is caught in a logjam of race cars. There is Brian Ross. There is Kelly Moore. Tony Hirschman in the 1 car. And we hope we're going to have trouble down there. And now the number 7 of Curtis Markham. And Hirschman, he drives right underneath the Curtis Markham car. He tries to take that spot away. So Crouch right now, he's extended his lead to a full straightaway. And we'll complete 115. And this one will come down to a Saturday night shootout with 35 laps left to be run here in the Busch 150 for the Busch Grand National North race cars. On the back straightaway, it's Fadden on the outside. Downstairs, the 47 of Kelly Moore. And Kelly Moore, a quick recovery. And he wants to take second spot away. If I said Fadden, I was mistaken out there. We look at the car 73, and that is the Brian Ross machine. And now the Tony Hirschman car, he has his sights set on the 3rd place car. He is now residing in the 4th position, and Curtis Markham holds 5. Look at Jeff Berry coming up. And Jamie Obey battling back after that mishap down there. And Obi in car number 41, the Budweiser 41. He tries to muscle underneath the 6 of Mike Stefanik. And right now, they keep this one flying under green. The car number 48 of Robbie Crouch. He is dominating the field and starting to drive away. So Crouch, his car getting stronger the longer that this one runs. And we'll put 30 down. We'll put, a blown engine. And look, car's getting collected down there. So that is the Mike McLaughlin machine, as well as a Dean Ferry car, the number 66 of Ferry. And creeping through the infield now, that will be the number 61 of Mike Olson out of North Haverhill, New Hampshire, the Fadden Auto Swenson Insurance Buick. Well, caution period number 6 as they run over to the Dean Ferry car, the car number 66. Ferry picking up some help this year. He had in previous years, he had the Somerville Lumber folks and the Bank Chevrolet people. Dean Ferry climbing out, walking away, and he is unscathed after that rather tough crash down there. But his car is in a shambles in the infield. We'll turn down track to John Busch. John, take it away, please.
Right now, ladies and gentlemen, I am standing in an extremely smoky and steamy turn number 4. You can see that a car blew the engine, spun around. Cars had nowhere to go. Mike McLaughlin loops it a little bit. Dean Ferry, our only Canadian driver in the field, had no place to go and took a hard hit. The whole front end of the car was pushed in. The radiator, as you can see, broken. That's where all the steam and smoke is coming from. Heavy front end damage on that car. He's out of the race. He said he's okay. I asked him what happened. He said the car blew the motor, had nowhere to go, made some contact, and he's running over to the infield. Maybe he'll be making a hasty exit home to Highway 3 up in Port Colborne tonight. Back up to the tower.
Well, Rick Mooney, as we said, that car was supposed to be displayed tomorrow in Port Colborne, Ontario, and the only thing that may be able to display will be the spoiler on the rear end of that race car. I think all 4 corners of that race car have been damaged tonight. So heavy, terrific damage to the number 66 car driven by Dean Ferry out of Port Colborne, Ontario.
Yeah, good point. Perhaps if they actually dig a trench and put it down in the trench, people can stare at the roof, which actually looks reasonably well out there. But unfortunately for Dean, a homecoming of sorts. He was a regular here at Holland Speedway for a couple of years before moving on to join the Busch North Tour. And a tough break for Dean. He had been running reasonably well in the early going in this Busch 150 event. But Lady Luck not riding with Dean this evening, as he's just in a case of being at the wrong place at the wrong time. As Mike Olson's engine lets go, Mike McLaughlin spins in the slick right in front of Ferry, who makes hard contact with the McLaughlin number 51. We noticed that Mike made a quick pit visit with car number 51, quickly moved back out into the speedway, and it looks like he's setting himself up for another trip into the infield pit, Kenny.
Well, caution 6 on the night, and we've completed 124. Well, the final 25 left to be run. We'll turn things over to my colleague, Rick Mooney. Rick, take us home for the final 25 here in the Busch 150.
Thank you, Kenny. As we're checking out the Mike McLaughlin pit area, the crew's extra gold number 51. As the crew's attempting to make whatever adjustments they can to get the car running in top shape without losing a lap on the field. Mike's still running on the lead lap. And it looks like we're going to be getting a restart green the next time around when they click off lap number 26. So when they get the green, we'll have 126 down, only 24 to go. Robbie Crouch leading as he has most of the way, with the exception of a couple of laps immediately following a restart in car number 48. Let's see if that trend will happen again, as The only time Robbie's really had a problem is getting back up to speed after a restart. Kelly Moore now working in second place, the 47, after a few anxious moments with Stub Fadden a few laps ago. Brian Ross working in third in the 73. Tony Hirschman currently shown in fourth in the 1. Curtis Markham is fifth in car number 7. The pace car off the track. Robbie Crouch will lead the remaining field of Busch North competitors out of turn number 4. They get the restart green, and we are racing once again. Kelly Moore looking to make a move to the inside of Robbie Crouch down the back chute that time. It's a no-go for Kelly, but he's right there rapping on the back door of Robbie Crouch's Tic Tac Goals number 48. Crouch leads him out of turn number 2, down the back chute. Kelly Moore again trying the inside groove. Can't find what he needs to get by Robbie Crouch that time. Now he moves to the outside lane. Crouch continues to hold sway up in front. Kelly Moore putting the pressure up high, putting the pressure down low, but it's still Robbie Crouch holding the number 1 spot. Kelly Moore working in second. Brian Ross is third. Tony Hirschman fourth. Curtis Markham is fifth. Running a steady race. We've hardly heard his name tonight, but he's currently in sixth. He stayed out of trouble most of the night. It's Jeff Berry in car 22. Jamie Olby up in seventh in the 41. Crouch continues to show the way in car number 48. Kelly Moore trying every which way to get around the Robbie Crouch number 48. They're inside of 20 laps in this Busch 150. Kelly Moore now making a move to the outside of Robbie Crouch. Kelly Moore attempting to pull alongside of Robbie Crouch into turn number 1. Circling out of turn 2 and motoring down the back chute. Crouch holds out by about 7/8 of a car length over Kelly Moore. Moore again attempting to pull alongside, exiting turn number 4, but Crouch has just a little bit extra and manages to move back out in front of Moore by a car length. Moore shifts his emphasis down to the low side, but can't quite do it that time around. Crouch back out in front by about a car length and a half. Out of turn number 4, it's still Robbie Crouch out in front. Kelly Moore working a tight second. Then we have to drop back about 8 car lengths to the third place number 73 of Brian Ross. Crouch and Moore putting on the show up in front. Again, Kelly Moore creeping to the outside of Robbie Crouch, but Crouch holding on to the point spot. Robbie Crouch making Kelly Moore work for every inch of racetrack out there. And behind, we have a heck of a battle heating up for the number 3 position. Brian Ross in the 73, Tony Hirschman in the 1, and Curtis Markham in the 7. Trouble on the main chute. Mike McLaughlin in the 51 out of shape. And the leaders coming out of turn number 4. McLaughlin manages to get himself straightened out just as the caution flag makes an appearance on the speedway. So caution flag number 7 coming out as Mike McLaughlin gets out of shape coming out of turn number 4. And with 136 laps complete, we are under caution once again.
Well, Rick, we can look down at the right rear. He's got a sneaker cut down, and one of the McCreary's is cut down on the Coors Extra Gold 51 of Mike Magic Shoes McLaughlin. In fact, it's the right rear that he has cut down his car, and I guess that really sent him looping down there as he exits turn number 4, and the right rear went away. We'll throw down tracks quickly to John Vichy. John?
Coors Extra Gold crew going to work on the number 51 of Mike McLaughlin. This time it's a flat right rear. There was the Coors Extra Gold car. Now there's black marks all over the right side of the car. The trunk and the rear bumper area is ripped up. They've got a big crowbar. One of the other teams, the Jordan Lumber team, is going to work on the rear sheet metal with them to get the sheet metal pulled away from the right rear tire. Now, some of the people from the Kenny Wallace team also helping out. Men from 3 different racing teams going to work on this car to get McLaughlin back out of the race. We're looking at him. He is disgusted right now as he sits in the car. He's got his hands tightly clenched on the steering wheel. Looking towards the field, looking back towards his crew members. They're going to work. Whipped away a piece of sheet metal. The jack is down. McLaughlin is away.
McLaughlin back out of the speedway. He'll fall to the rear of the field. We'll be clicking off lap 139 this time by, and I believe we're getting the 1 to go signal this time, which would mean we'll get a restart green as the field clicks off lap 140. So we'll have a 10-lap dash to the checkers to complete the Busch 150 tonight. Robbie Crouch seems to have the field covered as long as he doesn't have to deal with restarts. Unfortunately, Robbie Crouch right now has to deal with a restart. Kelly Moore has been putting on the pressure over the last 10 laps or so. Don't count out Brian Ross, who's made a steady drive up through the field, currently running third. Tony Hirschman has been running top 5 throughout the evening. He's currently fourth in car number 1. Jamie Obi, who has made a nice comeback after being involved in a fracas earlier in the event, is back up in the number 5 position in car 41. Curtis Markham running in 6th in the 7. A steady Jeff Berry running in 7th in car number 22. 8th place is Stub Fadden in the 16. Andy Santera is 9th in the 15, and I believe Tom Bowles rounds out your top 10 right now in car 76. The pace car off the track. Robbie Krause leads him out of turn number 4. The green flag is out. 10 laps remain in the Busch 150. And again, Kelly Moore trying the inside line on Robbie Crouch. But Crouch up to the task this time by Kelly Moore, knocking on the door, saying, "Hey, Robbie, I'm here. Give me some room." And Robbie saying, "No way." Robbie Crouch holds onto the lead. Kelly Moore drifting to the outside. Brian Ross just hoping for a slip-up in one or both of the cars ahead of him. It's Robbie Crouch, Kelly Moore, and Brian Ross, your top 3 cars on the speedway. Down the back chute, setting up for turns 3 and 4. Kelly Moore trying the low groove, but Crouch parks his number 48 downstairs as well and is telling Kelly, if you want to go around me, you're going to have to do just that. Go to the outside and go around me. So Kelly Moore drifting out to the outside, checking out the outside line. Robbie Crouch drifts out just a little bit and says, "I'm not going to make it that easy for you." Swinging down the back chute, it continues to be the Crouch and Moore show. The 48 of Crouch, the 47 of Moore. Behind them, Tony Hirschman putting some pressure on Brian Ross for the number 3 position. Inside of 5 laps, 145 down, 5 to go. Less than 5 to go. They'll be clicking off 146 this time by. Again, Kelly Moore moves to the outside. Robbie Crouch drifting out just a little bit to shut down that challenge. Behind him, Tony Hirschman checking out an inside lane on the Brian Ross number 73. Setting up for the final laps. Both leaders getting squirrely. They touch. Robbie Crouch going around. Moore and Crouch making contact. The caution flag coming out. Kelly Moore and Robbie Crouch making contact. Robbie Crouch going around in the 48. So we have a caution flag out. And we're holding with 148 laps in the record books, and we're waiting to see what kind of decision is made here in this situation.
Stop and go penalty.
So Tony Hirschman having his troubles in the late going in number 1. We could hear a loud explosion, whether that's a backfire or what the problem is. Tony Hirschman in the 1 having his trouble, and it's a stop and go penalty for Kelly Moore in the 47 for his involvement in that collision with Robbie Crouch. So Kelly Moore in the pits for a stop and go. And this gives the lead to the number 73 of Brian Ross. Here comes Kelly Moore back on the racetrack after a stop-and-go penalty. As we told you, Brian Ross, the 73, was playing a patient waiting game at third, just hoping for a mistake by one of the 2 leaders. He got what he was looking for, and at the same time, the driver that was giving him fits in 4th place while challenging for 3rd, Tony Hirschman, having mechanical problems. So Brian Ross suddenly has the pearly gates opening wide for him if he can hold it up for 2 laps, because they're going to end this race on a green-white checker situation. They'll go 2 laps under green. They'll get the green, they'll get the white, they'll get the checkers. So Tony Hirschman being pushed to the pits, and as soon as we clear the track of the Hirschman number 1, we're going to get this one restarted for a final 2-lap dash under green. Brian Ross, longtime modified pilot, sat out racing for a couple of years, now has gotten back in a big way in Grand National racing. and he is 2 laps from picking up the victory here at Holland Speedway tonight. But don't count out the driver of the Budweiser Chevrolet, Jamie Obie, in car number 41, as Obie has had a strong comeback after being involved in a fracas earlier in the race. Curtis Markham and Jeff Berry driving steady races to currently hold 3rd and 4th in cars 7 and 22. So the laps under caution are counting, but in actuality we're going to run just a little bit more than 150 laps tonight, because under the rules that this series competes with, they must end the race on a green-white checker situation. The last 2 laps will be run under green, no matter what the situation. Tony Hirschman finally gets the 1 refired, and he'll be falling to the rear of the field, but he's lost a couple of laps in the process. Tough break for Tony Hirschman after running such a strong race throughout the event. We're getting the 1 to go signal from starter Doug Carnes. So they're going to get the green flag when they click off lap 153. They'll run a total of 155 laps when all is said and done this evening. The Ron Corbo Holland Speedway pace car off the track. Brian Ross leads them out of turn number 4. The green flag is out. We have 2 laps to the checkers in the Busch 150. Brian Ross and Jamie Obie quickly distancing themselves from the rest of the field. Ross leads them into turn number 3. Obie looking for some running room to the inside. Here they come out of turn number 4 under the white flag. Ross and Obie, a 2-car dash to the checkers out of turn number 2. Ross takes the low groove, shutting down the potential challenge of Obie. Obie trying to set up for the outside, and here comes Curtis Markham in one last charge. Out of turn number 4, it's going to be Brian Ross with the win. Obie is 2nd. Markham takes 3rd. Berry is 4th, and Stub Fenn completes the top 5. So Brian Ross has the gates open wide for him, just 2 laps from the end, and he scores the victory this evening. Brian Ross in the Gendron GMC Southgate Plaza, number 73, scoring the victory in the Busch 150 this evening. Jamie Obie pilots the Budweiser Chevrolet to 2nd place, and taking 3rd in the Skoal Bandit number 7 is Curtis Markham. Brian Ross in for the victory in this evening's version of the Busch 150. And Brian receiving congratulations down at Victory Lane. And we're going to be going trackside to John Busch as soon as John is set up and ready to go in Victory Lane for the ceremonies this evening. As Brian Ross will be climbing out of that racer happy camper this evening. Jamie Obie, a strong 2nd place finish for the driver in car number 41. He's pulling into Victory Lane for the ceremonies as well. And let's go trackside right now to John Busch. John, take it away.
Ladies and gentlemen, they're jumping up and down, running all around. We got to give them a chance to get out of the car. But not only did he become the rookie of the race, he became the winner of the race. We're going to wait for Brian Ross to get out of his car. He is smiling.
We got to put in Victory Lane.
Getting a quick checkered flag shot, and now he's asking where Victory Lane is. The crew is going to help him find Victory Lane so that he can celebrate. We're going to follow him over to Victory Lane right now. An extremely happy Brian Ross and crew. Now he's in Victory Lane, shuts it off, gets congratulations from 2nd place man Jamie Obie. Putting on the Busch hat, taking the steering wheel off. He's going to be getting out of the car. Let's wait till he's out of the car. Now let's let him hear it. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's winner of the Busch North 150, Brian Ross.
Dick Gender in the stands there. We got to
Okay.
get him down here for that.
Front of the car, over here, please.
All right, we're going to go out front with Brian Ross so we can get him in the victory lane photographs. Brian Ross,
First of all, you don't know much about me in Victory Lane. When I get to Victory Lane, I hold the microphone. All right? All right. Dick Gendron and Tom Hunt, come on down here. You're as much a part of this as anybody, you know. We couldn't do this without our sponsors, and thank all you fans for coming out. I hope we put on a good show for you. You know, I've been around a lot of these racetracks. I sat there watching that race in the beginning, and we were a long way back, and I says, boy, if I play my cards right and stay out of trouble, these boys are going to give us something here. We weren't the fastest here, but they gave us this one tonight, and Lord knows we really needed it. And I got to put a plug in for all my sponsors, you know. I'm so excited right now. First of all, we couldn't have been up here without Southgate Plaza, so I hope all you people in this area, I hope you get out to Southgate Plaza and do your shopping, because they support racing, they supported us to get here, and I hope you support them back. You know, we're on the road an awful lot, and when we're on the road, it's pretty demanding. We make a lot of miles. We got to be back to work on Monday morning. And, you know, we rely on GMC trucks to get us to and from the races. Most dependable truck in the world. I got over 750,000 miles of racing on GM vehicles. And Dick Gendron from Gendron's GMC Truck in Troy has given us so much support and made it possible for us to be here. And if there's anybody here from the capital region of New York State, I hope you get up to Clifton Country Mall and shop. It's one of the biggest malls in the area. You get up there and you just tell anybody in those stores up there that you were at the races, and we'll see if you get a discount coupon for anything you buy. T-shirt graphics, HP Promotions, Howard Potter, WTN Channel 10 in Albany, New York. All the people that support us, all the Busch sponsors, we appreciate it very much. And we won this one for the New York people. Now, you can ask me any kind of questions you want to ask me. I did my part.
Brian Ross, did you ever think that you were going to be in victory lane? Did you think you had a real shot to win this race tonight?
Well, you know, I come to the races to win them, and, you know, it ain't over till the fat lady sings. And like I said, you know, I watched what was going on up there in the front, watched all those crashes. I had my son, my crew chief, all my crew that worked so hard for me. My son was on the radio telling me what lane to choose there, so he's my second set of eyes. He was my spotter tonight. He called the right moves. I was able to get through and avoid the wrecks, and that helped us so much. And, you know, in all that spiel, I'll tell you, I got the best crew that I ever had in all my racing career, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart. These guys work so hard every night, and boy, they've got me here, believe me. They're just as much a part of this as I am.
On a short track like this, where do you position your sponsor so that he can tell you what's going on?
My spotter.
A spotter, I'm sorry.
We didn't have much choice here, really, because we needed the crew in the locations. We had 2 pit areas tonight, so we needed to split our crew, so we couldn't afford to put anybody up in the stands for a spotter. We didn't have enough radios to do that. We're on a budget, you know, so we used the infield for the spotter tonight.
All right, with the low temperatures, there isn't a car in this field that doesn't have some kind of significant damage to it. What do you attribute the lot of contact and crashing tonight?
Well, there was a lot of over-aggressiveness, you know, and these long races, boy, I tell you, you got to pace yourself and not be running into each other, not get over-aggressive, you know. You got to be steadily aggressive but cautiously aggressive in these little bull rings. And, you know, I think some guys just get pressing too hard there and forget about where they're at, and I think that's the cause of it.
What do we see in store in the future down the road for Brian Ross?
Well, you know, we got short-term goals and long-term goals. Our short-term goals are to run as many of these Busch races as we can this year on a NASCAR North Tour. You know, these guys are so great to work with. All the officials on the North Tour have been so pleasant to me. Everybody on this North Tour has received me very well, made me welcome. The other competitors have helped me out, and we want to run all these shows. And long term, you know, I want to still keep moving up the ladder, and eventually, sometime down the road, I'd like to be involved in a Winston Cup like a lot of other short track drivers. And if I don't make it in time as a driver, I'd like to be involved as a car owner.
I think you're going to make it. Brian Ross, ladies and gentlemen, let's give him a big round of applause one more time. Tonight's, you got to say it, tonight's surprise race winner, and also the rookie of the race, Brian Ross from Boston Spa, New York. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, while the photographers are busy with Victory Lane, we are going to talk to what I would call Miracle Man, Jamie Obie. Jamie, you were right up there in the front. crash took you out. You had to fight your way back to the finish. Not only is your car battle-scarred, it's muddy. It looks like it took a few trips to the infield. Now it needs a trip to Delta Sonic.
Yeah, we were really fortunate for Budweiser, Chevrolet, and Larry Cates' car connection to even come in the top 10 after what we went through. But, I'll thank Ron Bennett for the nice facility, and want to congratulate Brian Ross. You got to be there to win these things, and he did a heck of a job to get up there. And I want to thank my whole crew and Budweiser again.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think this man certainly deserves a round of applause for surviving and then fighting his way all the way back to second spot. Ladies and gentlemen, Jamie Obey, the driver of the Budweiser 41. And now back up to Kenny in the tower. No, I guess it's not back to Kenny in the tower. Third place, Mr. Curtis Markham, all the way down from Fredericksburg, Virginia, here with us tonight. Curtis, you also survived. You seem to get away with about the least amount of damage in this race.
I don't know how. I kept closing my eyes and coming through it for some reason. I hope that was exciting for the fans, because it certainly was where I was sitting. That was more fun than Disney World, I believe.
A little more colorful than Disney World, and tried to get everybody going in the same direction. How different is this for you coming up from Virginia to race with the Northern boys?
Oh, we really enjoy it. I can't say enough for all the guys on our crew. All the guys on the Skull Bandit Unimart crew, they did a super job on this car. I'd like to congratulate Brian Ross. He did a super job, and he ran right up front there, and that's where he had to be to win. He won it. Jamie come through there. He did a good job. There was a lot of guys doing a good job out there tonight, but then a lot of things was happening, too, that just was unavoidable, I think.
A lot of the cars are getting ready to go to Watkins Glen on June 5th, the road course. Is your team going?
Oh, yes, we're going. Fortunately, we don't have to run this car. We've got another one back at the shop.
Do you have any road course experience?
I ran Watkins Glen one time when the first time the Busch Series ran there back in 1991, I believe it was.
For a lot of these drivers, it'll be their first time. How do you think the Busch North drivers will adapt to the road course, or are we going to see more Disneyland like tonight?
Oh, I think they'll love it. I thoroughly enjoyed it when I was there at Watkins Glen, and I can't wait to get back there. Places like this at Holland, this is a good short track, tough racing, hard charging, you got to go for it. Watkins Glen, you get to turn left and right. When you turn right, you're supposed to. You're not supposed to here, but when you turn there, you're supposed to, and it makes it a lot of fun.
How different are the road course cars from the cars that you run on the ovals? What do you change when you have to run a road course?
Oh, just the front end settings a little bit and the weight a little bit. Not a whole lot. You just get in there and, it's road course more of a driver's track. It's who can run it in the corner the hardest and keep it under control and get in the gas the quickest will run the fastest.
Okay, well, congratulations on third place. Let's give him a round of applause, too, ladies and gentlemen. Curtis Markham, the Skull Bandit from Fredericksburg, Virginia. And now, back up to Rick and Kenny in the tower.